Great, David Cohn. David, thank you very much for coming on.
My pleasure, fellas. How we doing?
What do you think's going through Schlittler and Early's minds?
Yeah.
Rookies making their postseason debuts in a game of this magnitude.
I like how you pronounce that L in that name. Right? Really, I've been working at that all day, too.
We're just wondering who's going to get this wrong today.
Yeah, we've all been there, definitely, yeah. It's what you dream about, right? Two rookie pitchers, it's in the backyard, playing wiffle ball or whatever. You think about, wow, Yankee Stadium, I'm a game-deciding sort of a series situation. So, yeah, these guys are going to be feeling it. The worst time's right now, waiting in that clubhouse to go out there and play. And Tiki knows this, too. When the game starts, that's almost the easy.
Takes over. Right.
That's almost the easier part. But early, that first inning is going to be big for Early here at Yankee Stadium.
Do you think Cam is going to feel it at all? Because, look, he's pitched 73 or so innings. He's been in this environment. It feels comfortable to him. But it's the postseason. It's a different feeling than he's ever been in before.
Yeah, that's a great point. Of the two, you would think he's at home. He's got a little more experience on the big league level. So, you'd think maybe a slight advantage to him as well on that. And Early, Yankee Stadium's never been on that mound.
That's right.
He's never been in this situation at all. So.
It was funny. I was looking at Early. He's made 4 major league starts, 2 of them on the road. And his 2 road starts are in Sacramento and George M. Steinbrenner Field in Tampa. So he's never actually even made a road start in a real baseball major league stadium.
Yes, that all factors in. It's sort of, that can work both ways. Sometimes what they say about the young and dumb ones, right? They don't know any better, so they just they go out there and play. And so it's sometimes the more you know, the worse off you are in these situations. But only time will tell. The Yankees are big in the first inning. They hit a lot of home runs in the first inning this year. Aaron Judge is batting second. Well, that's a big first look he's going to have and to check the nerves in that first inning.
You talk about early first inning home runs. Ben Rice hit one yesterday, jumping on the first pitch that he saw and took a yard. But I don't want to say he's a defensive liability. He's obviously a defensive downgrade from Paul Goldschmidt over at first base. We're over here watching him take infield. This means absolutely nothing, but he doesn't dig it as cleanly as Paul does.
Yes, no.
Do you worry about the defensive lineup that the Yankees have right now, obviously with Ahmad Rosario also at third base?
Sure. To your point, they will be replaced.
Yeah.
Goldschmidt, if the Yankees have a lead, he'll play first base later in the game, and then obviously McMahon will play third base. So right to your point, they're going for the offense. It is sort of it's a catch-22 for Aaron Boone. I need the bats. Ben Rice has forced his way into the lineup, so you have to play him. And Goldschmidt's such a professional. He's such a team guy. One of the best guys you'll ever see in a clubhouse. He's like, yes, I'm ready. Whatever you need, no problem, Skip. I get it. Ben Rice needs to hit tonight. So, the Yankees have a good situation. You're right. Goldschmidt will be playing first late in the game if the Yankees have a lead.
We were thinking if we were going to get this in the Tiger Guardian game, and that is, do you go to your ace on 1 day's rest out of the bullpen to try to get big outs because it's an elimination game? And we've seen it before with guys. How does this process work? Is it Max Fried having to go to Boone and say, I'm ready, Skip? Is it Boone asking him, and same with Corin Crochet, obviously. How does that work?
I think it's incumbent upon the pitcher to push it, to let his manager know that he really does feel good. He really does want it. I was in the first wild card series in 1995. We saw Randy Johnson come out in Game 5 on 1 day rest.
Yeah, we talked about that.
And he was a free agent, too, at the end of that year. And we're like, wow, this guy's really laying it all out on the line right there. So, yeah, it's remarkable when you see that starting pitcher come out of the bullpen. And you're like, oh, my, that's Garrett Crochet.
Right.
Is he coming in the game tonight? Yeah, it's something to watch. We just talked to Alex Corey. He kind of threw cold water on that idea, but Crochet could change his mind, I'm sure, if he went in and said, hey, you need me, I'm there.
How did he throw the cold water? Was it like, no way, no how? Was it, probably not? There's different ways you can throw the cold water.
Yeah, it was... Yeah, it was not definitive.
He's cagey, that Cora.
Yeah. There's a little opening in the door there. There always is. Yeah, and you're right. Cora's one of the best.
But I think the balance must be hard for the managers because obviously if Garrett Crochet says, I'm pitching, Skip, put me out there, it's great. But then you also maybe compromise them for the next series a little bit. So thinking forward while also not being guaranteed to go forward is a weird dynamic for some of these guys.
It is, and he's just signed him to a long-term deal, too. So if you want the big picture view, it's like he's in the first year of a multi-year deal. We just committed to this guy. He's our guy for the next 5 years or so, or even longer. So, yeah, there's part of that thinking that goes into it all. Are we going to really lay it all on the line for this one game?
Yeah.
Or are we going to damn the future? So that's where it comes down to the pitcher himself.
Right. Max Fried doesn't feel like he's that kind of guy.
Yeah,
I've never had any interaction with him, but he doesn't seem fiery. Damn it, Skip, put me in.
Right.
That's not him.
And he's not really the power guy that Crochet is.
Yeah,
that Crochet can come in and just strike out the side.
Right.
And Max Fried's, he's got 6-7 pitches. He's got to be sharp. He's a craftsman, great pitcher. So, yeah, you're right. That the situation doesn't lend itself to that kind of a Max Fried game. Crochet, yes. Randy Johnson, yes. Power guy like that, yes.
You've obviously watched the Yankees all season long. We watched them last year. What's wrong with Luke Weaver? What has changed in your eyes with him?
He really, I think last year he had a little more life on his fastball, just that little extra hop. There's a lot of technical terms for it, and an induced vertical break. We measure everything: the spin, the efficiency of the spin, the life, the riding action. It's not quite the same this year as it has been with last year, and kind of a two-pitch guy, fastball changeup, and his changeup lends itself to more getting left-handed batters out as opposed to righties, and that's why he kind of had trouble with Rafael the other night, just getting him to swing and miss. 10-pitch at bat, he ends up walking him. He didn't have a pitch to go to kind of get him to miss.
When you think about this team, both these teams, you want to talk scoring, but the playoffs lend themselves to be low-scoring games. This one was. We're watching in Detroit and Cleveland until the 8th inning or so. This is a tight game. Pressure obviously breaks all pipes, as they say, the cliche goes. Which one of these teams is more prepared for this? I would think the Yankees, but something about the Red Sox all season long, we thought eventually they're going to fold. Eventually they're just not quite good enough. Yet they hung around the entire season, and here they are, a game away from eliminating the Yankees at home. Now, obviously, they're a game from being eliminated as well, but I think there's something about this Red Sox team that is, it's resilient.
It's a great way to put it. You know it when you see it, right?
Absolutely.
And they have it. There's no doubt about it. Now, if you look at this game on paper, Yankees at home, Schlittler's, on the mound throwing 98 to 100 miles an hour. Yankees, everybody's healthy. Aaron Judge is swinging the bat well. Giancarlo Stanton's due. Facing a lefty, everything on the paper says this is the Yankees' advantage. But you're right. It's the Red Sox. They find ways to do things to win. They catch the ball. They run the bases, generally speaking. Mm-hmm. Last night they didn't.
Right.
If Duran catches the ball in left field, it's a different ball game.
100%. Or if Rafael gets the bunt down.
If Rafael gets a bunt down, if they run the bases a little better and play at third base where Ben Rice kind of misses the ball and they didn't push the envelope and score there. So Cora had them in a good position last night if they do what they're supposed to do and catch the ball, but they didn't, and the Yankees caught a break.
Obviously, Aaron Judge is the focus of everybody's attention. He had another MVP year. To me, he's the MVP. But the pressure's on for him. Yankee fans, you got to perform in October. He's off to a good start. How do you explain, because we've tried to figure this out, his struggles in October? Was there anything that you saw that maybe led to it? Was it just wearing down after a long year? How do you kind of define it?
To me, it feels more emotional when you see a guy start chasing and getting out of his comfort level and really bad pitches, breaking balls especially, that something he's done such a good job of refining his game and laying off of those pitches over the last 5 years, that all of a sudden in postseason you start to press, right? If you start to press, I got to do it, and you start going out of your comfort zone and chasing pitches off the plate. That's been the one constant for him in postseason, even though he has had pockets here where he swung the bat well. Took Class A deep with the Cleveland last year. It was a big home run. So, I think he's in a really good place now, and getting a few hits in the first couple games really helps.
What I was encouraged by, I was telling this to Tiki, was he was so hot to end the season. And there was no break. It was one off day. Yeah. To me, it was, it's got to continue. It's not just going to go away because the calendar changed and they're calling it the wild card series. And it feels, even though he hasn't gone deep yet, he's had 2 hits in each game, it feels like he's just carrying over that momentum.
That's a great point. And that's the thing. Every manager will say, no, I'll take the bye in the first round. I'm going to line up my pitching. But we've seen hitters struggle.
Right.
You lose a little bit of that rhythm. Hitting a baseball is just such timing.
Right.
You have a split second to make a decision, swing decisions, get your timing right. So, that can get thrown off with a week
now,
playoff.
I won't ask you to pick a winner here. You're calling the game, so you got to be objective. But at home, the Yankees seem to have the edge. But give me an X factor for either one of these teams. What will be the X factor that decides this critical Game 3, this elimination game for both?
Well, I still think it's at the top, with Early, and Connerly early starting, the rookie. If he can get through 4 innings, 5 innings, that changes everything for them. If it's 1-1 or 2-2 after 4 or 5 innings, and he's been able to give them that, boy, that really is a huge lift for the Red Sox because they've used a lot of the relievers already in this series.
Right.
If they've got to pull him in the second inning like he did with Bayo, last night, then that's a whole different ball of wax for them. Then the Yankees have them on the run. So yeah, it really does come down to the starting pitcher and getting him on the run and getting in that Red Sox bullpen early.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting to see how both managers trust their young pitcher.
Yeah.
Like, are they going to allow them to get out of a jam early or say, nope, guys on base, I got to go to my bullpen?
I would think Boone has an edge there because he's pitched more, right? 73 or so innings he's pitched. Early hasn't. He's only 4 starts he's had so far. He's been good.
Yes.
A lot of strikeouts in those 4 starts, but I don't know if he knows them that well.
Yes, I mean, early style is he's a pitcher. He throws 4 or 5 different pitches,
Right.
and he mixes them all up. Throws about 93, 94 miles an hour. He's not really a prototypical power guy. He's a mix master.
Mm-hmm.
So that lend itself to being a little flighty if you're nervous. To throw 4 or 5 pitches for strikes, it's
Right.
a little harder than Cam Schlittler's going to throw the ball 100 miles an hour.
Right.
He's going to come out and throw
Yeah.
98.
Right, he needs
and
a
he's going
strike.
to throw a lot of those.
Right, you know what he's doing.
Don't worry about my other 2 pitches.
Right.
I'll mix in a curveball here and there. But that's a big difference between I had to get all 5 pitches going early and throw them for strikes, or I just got to throw the ball at the top of the zone 98 miles an hour.
No question. David, we appreciate it. We'll be watching tonight. Have a great call.
My pleasure, guys.
Thank
Good
you,
to be
Dave.
on with
man.
you. You got it.
The great David Cohn.